in a very important report in 2019, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, which is the foremost authority of climate change in the world, made a statement that the Western Ghats is one of the most resilient ecosystems to climate change. This is extremely important as very few ecosystems in the world are actually resilient to climate change. Maintaining the integrity of the Western Ghats allows Goa to have better adaptation strategies for climate change. But why should Goa care about climate change? It's basically because we are a coastal state, which means that if we do not put in policies to prevent climate change, we will actually be quite likely flooded in a couple of years, and that is something we don't want. And the interesting thing that the Goa government is doing right now is it actually started something called a climate change action plan over the past couple of months. But this is quite hypocritical because, to be very honest, if the Goa government wants to do something about climate change, what it really needs to do is to protect Molai National Park and the rest of the Western Ghats, because these rainforests are actually what regulates our climate. In addition to helping us being resilient to climate change, the forests have hundreds of wildlife species that are included in the Schedule 1 and Schedule 2 of the Wildlife Protection Act, which is the most important protection given under the law. These include the tiger, the dhole, the mouse deer, boar and the Indian pangolin, as well as thousands of other species. It also comes within the Dandeli Anshi Tiger Reserve, and it is a very important tiger corridor. And while the rest of the world is doing everything in its possible capacity to protect the last remaining tiger species, the Goa government seems to be doing everything in its power to actually prevent tigers being conserved. In addition, destruction of the Molai Wildlife Sanctuary and the other parts of the Western Ghats will also propagate what we are very commonly now know as zoonotic diseases such as coronavirus, which has probably put us in the situation we're in, is because we have previously destroyed large sections of forest. Being in the middle of a pandemic, the government has still passed these 3 projects, knowing that destruction of forest areas puts humans more in contact with wildlife and actually increases the possibility of zoonotic diseases coming in. And in terms of a legal perspective, if we look at the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, there are 2 sections that are really important. Section number 29 and section 35(6) states that no destruction whatever can be made to the land and waterways of any wildlife sanctuary or national park unless it is for the improvement and the better management of the national park. Please tell me how a railway, a highway and a transmission line is beneficial to wildlife and the wildlife sanctuary. If this is not the case, then this is a clear violation of the Wildlife Protection Act already, and these projects should not go ahead. The 3 linear projects are fragmenting Goa's main protected area into 3 chunks. This will destroy the integrity and the protected area forever. Once we destroy a 150 million-year-old forest, then no amount of afforestation or mitigation measures will ever bring back the forest to its pristine state. We as the young people of Goa will not let our leaders make careless decisions on our behalf. We will not be known as the generation that loses our forests. We are and will continue to do everything in our collective power to safeguard Goa's forests. Thank you.
Tokenism, revoke the projects, and then have a discussion with them. Now imagine winning a lottery, okay? If 1,000 people play, the 1,000th person will win. So at the cost of 999 people, the pooled money, one person benefits. And that is what is happening at Molai. At the cost of the lives and livelihood of 1,521,875 people of Goa, one person away benefits. Let me elaborate. We have been told this development taking place and it's all for the benefits of the Goans, right? But in reality, I feel like they have misplaced the definition of what development is. What's even possible is because of the common letter, they have misspelled destruction. I don't know. Molai is a beautiful place and what is happening there is pure destruction. They say development is taking place, but development at the cost of 70,000 trees, and that's the number given to us before the cases were filed, before it was objected. And what I know best is 2,000 trees were cut even before that, and 2,000 that I am aware of. So at this cost, is it development or is what is happening destruction? With the little number that I've screamed out, again, is it development or destruction? Is it tokenism or do we have transparent knowledge? Now let me tell you all what tokenism is. I've been saying tokenism for a while. Let me tell you all what tokenism is. According to Wikipedia, It is a practice of making only a perfunctory or symbolic effort to be inclusive of members of minority groups. Okay? In simple words, according to the Cambridge Dictionary, it is the fact of doing something, permit me to read it so that I can get it right? The fact of doing something only to show that you are following rules or doing what is expected or seen to be fair, and not because you really believe it is the right thing to do. What you might be saying is, well, jobs are created, right? There's development taking place, destruction happening, but there are jobs being created. From what information I've received from my personal trip to Mole, is that after the members filed an RTI asking what jobs are there and who is getting the jobs, let me quote, the jobs are lined up as follows. There are jobs for the Sarpanch, his kids who are not even going to school yet, people in power, if you all know who I mean, people who have jobs already are lined up with jobs. And why does this happen? Because of pure destruction. Pure definition of how jobs are lined up just so that their projects can get through. So again, is it development or is what is happening tokenism? But you might be saying, hey, I hear reforestation is taking place, right? Isn't this making up for the destruction that is being done at Mole? Now, I would like to request you all personally, if you all haven't been to Mole, a lot of kids from here have been to Mole, but if you all haven't been to Mole, I request you all to take a trip there. Obviously take precautions, but take a trip there and especially go to the place where reforestation is taking place. Now, when I went there, to my luck, the reforestation was just being started there. And let me tell you what is actually happening, okay, in case you all can't make it. It is a hilly area and a rocky hilly land. They were literally drilling through the rocks to plant saplings. Okay, they were planting saplings through the rocks. Now there's little or no water supply at all. So the water supply that is given is very complicated and can be disrupted very easily. What's even worse is that there's no even 1 meter distance between two trees. Now there are trees like tamarind, mango, and there's a creeper planted. It's planted. Okay, I'm not even making this up, but it's planted. And there's not even 1 meter distance. So the trees won't have space to breathe and come out, won't have roots to go through, and then it won't grow. So this is just being done to show that reforestation is taking place. Again, does this match the definition of what tokenism is? That's up to you all to read. But what I hate most is, if you destruct what is happening in Mole, there's thousands and thousands of species of plants and trees that are going to be going extinct. Let me use the word extinct because you can't find those trees, and to plant them again is very difficult, and that doesn't happen. Let me read out this amazing factor that I read online, right? So, you all know that Mole is a part of the Western Ghats, right? One mature tree, they absorbs around 22 kilos of carbon dioxide each year. 22 kilos. And a new sapling absorbs 6 kilos. So see the difference between that. And felling 70,000 trees will be a lot. And I can't even begin to tell you all how difficult it will be for all the Goans and the Indians, because it is a part of the Western Ghats. Let me not get into the depths of what is happening with regards to the roads, but what I would like to say is our people have been very generous when it comes to giving. I don't know if it's because it's Christmas or because the plan started in February 2019. Maybe it was Valentine's Day, I really don't know. But it's not yours to give away, neither is it mine. It's protected for a reason, and we can only imagine if these plans go through, what will happen next. Although we would oppose to it, be transparent and do not use a tokenistic approach with us, because clearly it's not working out. If it was working out, we wouldn't be doing this, right? But first we want the projects to be revoked, 100%. We want that. The youth today is standing here to ask her to revoke the projects 100%. We want clarity on where the projects permission have been granted, because according to us there is no proper paperwork. So again, what I'm saying is be transparent with us. Do not use a tokenistic approach. We will no longer partake in your burdens of discussing these projects while they are still in motion, right? We will not be a part of your PR stunts anymore. Revoke these projects and your actions will be amended, and only then we will listen and talk. And in 2022, we will remember. I would like to end by saying this: revoke the projects and then maybe we can have a discussion. and I can bring my 5-year-old niece to explain what development is, or even better, what sustainable development is.